I did it my way. Man, you already know what it is. Jay Williams, let's live life, and we're back. This never gets old, man. I love my life. Here we are at work. I do work. Definitely work. I love work. So, you ever met them dudes that they're only tough if their homeboys are around? Like, you catch them one-on-one and it's... or one-on-one, they got no fight game. You heard the saying, you ain't without your homeboy. Penitentiary's full of those, man. Jails are full of them. Prisons are full of them. Detention centers full of them. On a one-on-one note, they, look, man, look, I don't want no problems. They'll go around up a few of their homies, and next thing you know, it's, oh, man, it's like you're fighting a baby gorilla. Except he's not strong. That's what we're doing today. You ain't issue without your homeboy. Dudes getting tough when their people shows up, being tough in groups, not being able to stand on your own. You take these dudes and you look at them in everyday life or in prison, and nobody likes them. They got nobody with them. If something was to hit the fan, oh man, they're in trouble. But they got a couple friends, and it's a whole different story. I've seen a whole lot of guys that was soft as baby cotton, and then their homeboys show up, and they're hard as a diamond. So that's what we doing today, man. You ain't issue without your homeboys. It's Friday, but we'll get into the whole Friday, payday thing here in a couple minutes. Anyways, y'all know how to see it. You know how to live it. So, let's relive it. I'll throw some gas in the truck real quick. So, growing up, man, every neighborhood's got that set of brothers, them bullies in the neighborhood. But they're usually only tough if it's two of them. My neighborhood had that group of dudes, Charles and Jeff. Two dudes from out my way that together, they would jump you, chase you down, take your bike, whatever it calls for. If it's stupid, it shouldn't happen, they do it. But we're talking, I want to say this was 93 era, 94 around that time. I remember that because we were listening to the old Snoop Dogg, Gin and Juice, Doggy Style that dropped. Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 1999. Back in the days when the year was 89, little lazy on the grind, gotta get my doing my grind. All that was out just during that time frame. We weren't like a lot of kids, man. We didn't have the money to just go out and buy, the basketball goal. You're talking $300-400 at that point. It ain't like today where you go to Walmart and get one for $120, No, them things were $300-400 back in the early 90s. So you know what we did? We had the basketball goal set up, hood edition. Took a piece of plywood, cut it to size, stood on a bunch of trash cans, some milk crates, I believe it was milk crates, and nailed the bicycle rim to the front of it. Took the spray paint and put the box on it, boom, good to go. It wasn't the best, but it got the job done. I remember having to stop halfway through the games and pull the trash can over there, climb up on the trash can and nail the rim back up. And then the rim would get all bent. We had a don't dunk rule. Do not dunk on this rim. We were pulling nails out of boards and anywhere we can get them because we ain't got nails. Who's got nails? So you weren't supposed to dunk. Not to mention, this was not regulation. We were teenagers, kids. Time I was like 13. So we can't dunk. I can't get 10 feet up in the air. That look like, right? It's a little short, skinny dude. So with it being smaller and shorter, some of the dudes could dunk. I still couldn't dunk. But this thing was maybe 8.5 feet off the ground, right? Right in front of where we lived at the time. All the kids in the neighborhood would come over and we get that street ball going out there, just having a blast with the Huffy rim up there, right? Had an old stack of rims laying there right beside it in case the rim got bent. You throw the ball too hard, it bend the rim, or somebody messed the rim up, and we just climb up there, tear it down, and put it back up. We didn't have no basketball goals in our neighborhood, so that was the basketball goal. That's where everybody came there, to ball at it. In the middle of the nighttime, the street lights would come on, we'd be out there balling. Other dudes would come out there and ball. You respected the hood edition of the basketball goal. My homeboys didn't live out there. I knew some of the guys out there, but they weren't. They were just dudes that lived in my neighborhood. I just moved over there. We crossed over the tracks, and it moved maybe, I don't know, I'd say maybe 6 months prior to that. So all my friends, all my homeboys lived on the other side of the tracks. So these dudes out there that I would kick it with sometimes weren't really my friends like that. They were just neighborhood kids. I'm coming home one day, been over cross tracks, kicking it with my homeboys and them. I'm walking, I'm coming down my street, and I'm just, doing what I do, just walking. And I look off in the distance and I see something that just completely breaks my heart and makes me real angry. I can see this plywood that we painted from a distance. You can see the white square in the middle. You can see the box. But what I don't see is the rim. As I get closer, what I thought is true. Somebody's jumped up there and grabbed the rim and ripped the rim off my basketball goal. Might sound petty to y'all, but when you're small like that and you don't have a lot of possessions and you finally have something cool, it's a big deal. So I get closer and closer and closer. Somebody tore my stuff down, man. I'm all types in my feelings because, first of all, I know all the kids in the neighborhood, so it's got to be somebody I know. Y'all know there's a no dunk policy on the rim because this is all we got. So somebody did this out of spite. I go in the house, all angry and whatnot, come back out and I'm talking to people outside. I don't remember exactly who it was, but somebody tells me Jeff, Charles, and a bunch of the other boys came through here earlier. And Jeff jumped up there and tore the rim down. What? Yeah, Jeff tore your rim down. I'm on a hunt. So I'm out walking through the neighborhood. I'm asking everybody, hey, you seen Jeff or Charles? Seen Jeff or Charles? I see the little flunky homeboys they hang out with. They're like, we was with them earlier. I'm like, y'all tore my basketball rim down? They straight tell them, oh, we ain't tear your rim down. Jeff did. Okay. I send words to different people. We still had the old house phones back then with the, the long ass cord. You stretch out all the way down the hallway and hide within your room to talk to whoever you go to middle school with. I've got the phone in my room and I'm calling around talking to people and they're like, man, they up here now. Telling me where that. By now it's like maybe 11:30 at night. My people are asleep. I creep through the house, get to the front door, quietly unlock the door and I slide up out of the house, sneak up out of there, right? I go to this other place out there. Now, Jeff was the older brother. Jeff was probably, I want to say like 17. Charles was like the same age as me. I'm just going to go on, just a straight dummy mission, man. I'm going to go up there. I know that they're going to jump me, but, I can't let it slide. It's just, I'm too angry. I get up to this house where they're supposed to be at, and the older brother had left, and now it's just Charles is there. I know the guys are at this house. These dudes are even older than Jeff. Some of these dudes 19, 20, 21. I come walking over the porch. What you doing around here, youngin'? I'm looking for Jeff and Charles. And they hollering out, hey, Charles, somebody want to see you, right? He comes to the door, and I'm like, what's up, man? Y'all tore down my basketball goal. They didn't like me. I didn't like them. It was very apparent. He starts running his mouth, right? So I tell him, come off the porch, come off the porch. Come on, come out here in the street. The dude's there like, look, you little man, you got to go. So I'm steadily snapping, and he's like trying to jump off the porch, like trying to dive over the rail at me. And they're doing the typical holding him, trying to, hold me back, hold me back, hold me back. Come on, man, hold me back. Acting like he's trying to be held back. He's doing the most, you know what I mean? Like, man, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to do that. I'll beat you out. Just running in his mouth. And I'm standing outside the yard. I'm like, yo, let him go. Tell him come off the porch. Let him go. They're like, look, Jay, you got to go, man. You can't come around here, start trouble. You got to go. It's late night. Y'all are yelling. Like, we got all types of people over here. You got to go. So I tell him, that's what's up. I'm going to see you. I'm going to see you in the neighborhood, and you ain't going to have these dudes here with you, right? Animal thug when them dudes was around. So the dude, Jeff, I said, he's like 17, I think, at the time. He ends up getting locked up for something, some or another, and gets sent off. I don't see him no more. But the brother Charles is still out there in the midst. And I didn't care which one I fought. I just had to do it because they disrespected me, right? Every time I see Charles, he's got a group of guys with him, and he's always tries to act hard, right? But I know that he's not trying to fight me. He's trying to jump me. I catch him one day. I'm walking down the street. And where I messed up, man, is I shouldn't have said nothing. I should have just ran up on him, mollywopped him, and kept it moving, right? But I'm walking down the street, and way off in the distance, I see him. You know, when you dislike somebody, you can spot them out of a crowd like, where's Waldo? I see him by himself walking down the street. I'm probably, I don't know, a couple 100 feet behind him, and I yell at the street, hey, Charles! And he turns around and he sees me. At that point there, I'm sure it's him. He knows who I am as soon as he sees me. Hey, don't run. He acts like he's gonna stand there. What's up there? Come on, come on. Throws his hands up, come on. I take off in his direction. My plan is to run as fast as I can. As soon as I get within arm's reach, just to throw that haymaker, that okie doke at him, right? I get about 20 feet from him. You gotta remember now, I'm a smaller dude, I'm skinny, still got hair, I had blonde hair at the time. I'm chasing. He's standing there, come on, come on. Acting like he's gonna square off. When I get within 20 feet of him, he takes off and turns around running. I've already did the million-mile sprint trying to catch him, right? And this dude is running. I can't catch him. I'm chasing him in between these trailers. He's zigging, he's zagging. He's yelling for people out there. Yo, yo, yo. Different people that live in trailers. And I'm chasing him, right? You ain't got your homeboys now, right? You ain't issued out your homeboys. He's running. We both get winded. I would stop to catch a breath. He would stop. And he'd look at me, I look at him. I'm like, I catch you, man. I take off after him again. He must have been smoking crack at 13. That boy had a lot of energy. I chased him and chased to the point that I was like, I'm done, man. If I gotta chase you, you ain't even worth fighting, homeboy. I told you a punk, you this, you that. Talk crap about his brother. Boom, he dips off, right? I can't catch him. I end up going through my trials and tribulations of being young and stupid and locked up and then get out and get locked up. I just stayed locked up off and on, right? It was like my home away from home was being somewhere incarcerated. Well, I come home one time, and I think at this point I'm probably 22 years old, and my sister is like, look, dude around the street owes, her boyfriend at the time, Josh, her baby daddy, dude around the street owes Josh some money, and Josh, he's dude's always got people over there with him. Josh wants you to go up the street with him so he can collect his money. I bet. Tell him get in the car. I just pulled up here when she comes out and tells me this. So I reach over, unlock the door, boom, let him in, he jumps in. We drive around the corner. We get up there. There's a couple dudes standing outside. I said, who we here to see, man? He was like, Charles. The name don't strike me. I've heard that name a whole bunch of times since I was 13 years old. I'm not thinking, this is petty, I know. I'm not thinking this is the same dude when I'm 13, but I still hold a grudge. I told him, told myself, told everybody else, I don't care if I'm 64 years old and we're standing in the frozen pea aisle and Food Line. When I see him, it's on, man. He's gonna catch these hands. So I'm like, Charles. He's like, yeah. And I'm like, Charles who? And he says the last name. I'm like, why does that name sound familiar? A lot of time has passed since I was 13. It's still not registering on me that this is this dude that from way back in the day, right? We pull up, Josh gets out the car, and dude comes out the front door and sees us, and he goes back in. I don't know if he recognized me, but the moment I saw him, I flashed back to that bicycle, that tough guy stuff, and how he was acting like he wanted to jump me with his homeboys. I tell Josh, nah, I got him, bro. I gotta have him. I run up on the porch, him and the two dudes that are out front with him. Psst. Run up in the house, lock the door, right? Boom, 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 boom. I'm beating on the door. Hey, open the door, man. Josh wants his money. Y'all need to go away. Yo, I'm gonna kick the door and open the door. We gonna call the cops. I said, I'm gonna kick the door in. No, don't kick the door in, Jay. Don't kick the door in. There's neighbors all outside, people cutting their grass. I'm gonna kick the door in. Do not kick the door in, man. I live out here. You can't be doing this out here where I live at. Come on, man. You're not about to tell me I finally caught this dude after all these years. I can't kick the door in? Like, what you scared of? I'm kicking it in. I said, all right, man. Now it's done brought back all these familiar memories. It's done brought back all these familiar feelings. Brought back the anger that I had for what he did to me when I was a young boy, right? Push it out of my mind. Every time I would ride over to my sister's house in the neighborhood, I would make sure to go down that street and stop in front of his crib. A couple of times the door would open and they'd see me and they'd shut the door and I'd be like, huh. I'd yell out the window, whatever, and then just peel out. On the way back out, I'd turn the music up real loud, pull up in front of his house and look. Dude don't want no smoke. Many years have passed, he don't want no type of issues, right? I get to a point where knowing where he lives at, having not done anything about it, it's starting to bother me. I'm losing sleep over it, especially when I drink, and that's why I don't drink, because I turn to a full-on moron. Like, I go all out stupid when I drink. Riding around one night actually, it was a friend of mine named Mike Vest. He's dead now. Rest in peace to Mike Vest. I'm going to pick him up, and I've got to pass by where my sister and them live, and I said, nah, I can't let it ride, man. There ain't nobody here to stop me from kicking in the door. Whip up in front of the house, run up on the porch, kick the front door in. Boom! One swift kick, breaks the whole frame, the door comes flying open. Wouldn't you know it, there's nobody there. There's little pieces of furniture left behind, like stuff if you get evicted or you move suddenly that you don't want to take with you. That's all I see sitting in this little raggedy ass crack shack that he used to live in, right? I don't know if they got evicted. I don't know if he moved out of fear. I don't know what happened. What I do know is now I done kicked the door in to a vacant house where nobody lives. This wasn't long after this whole thing happened, you know, with me being over there with my sister's baby daddy. Couple months. I go over there with the intent of, I gotta have you, man. It's, you know, it's getting to me. It is time. Nobody there. Damn. I done missed my opportunity, right? It's done, it's gone. I'll never catch him again, is what I'm thinking. I should have just kicked the door in that day, man. I was already on different bonds. I should have just took a new charge and just whooped his ass. I'd have let this dude get away. Fate has a funny way of working itself out. Karma has a funny way of calling. You never know. Wouldn't be long after that situation that I do get jammed up and I get locked up. I go through the whole intake process, fingerprinting, the holding cells, the free phone call. And then in this jail I go to, you have what's called 1E. That is the intake pod. That is where everybody starts off. I don't care what type of charge you got. You have to go in there before they classify you and either send you over to the felony side, over the misdemeanor side. Just based off my record, it didn't matter if I was in there for jaywalking. I'm going to felony block. I come into 1E and I see a bunch of dudes. As soon as I come in, I'm always like in and out of this jail, right? It's like Motel 6 when it comes to me. I come in and a bunch of the dudes that are in this pod right here, I know. Dudes that have just recently gotten locked up. Dudes I know from the streets. Dudes I know from this jail. Dudes I know from that jail. I know a bunch of different people, right? And they come up and start talking to me. I'm standing there with this clear plastic bag over my shoulder with the little belongings and sheets and stuff they gave me. And I'm just trying to kick it with them before I go up my cell, because when I go up there, I have to make my bed and lock in. I look up and lo and behold, what do I see looking back at me? Charles. You've got to be kidding me. Oh, you was running. Oh, you was hiding. Can't duck me no more, man. Now it's time. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, I got your ass. I make my way up to his cell and I go to the door and I look in, and he had already seen me. He's done backed up, right? Backed up sitting on his bunk looking at me. And I tell him very calmly, when these doors open, and they will open, I am going to beat your ass. Now, I don't want to draw too much attention. Too much attention is going to alert the guard that there's something going on, and they're going to grab him and move him up out of there to keep me from putting my hands on him. I go on down to my cell. I tell the cellmate, the dude that I get in the cell with, I don't know him. He's in there just got his little earbuds in, listening to his music, bobbing his head. We get to talking, and I tell him, I'm not going to be your cellmate long. Well, what's up? The moment these doors open, I'm going about 8 cells down, and that dude Charles stays in the cell. I'm going to mop the cell with his ass. I'm going to beat his ass. What's going on, man? It don't even matter. I don't even want to tell him what's going on because it seems so petty. But I'm thinking back to how I felt when I was young, man. How disrespected I felt and how my feelings were hurt about that basketball goal and how all they had to really do was apologize and help me fix it. But that ain't what happened. I got completely disrespected. Acted like he was going to do this to me and that to me. And okay, that's what it is. I'm feeling all that anger again. This goes to show you I have a hard time letting things go. Once I set my mind to something, It's almost impossible to pull my mind off of it. Wouldn't you know it, the middle of the night, here they come with the cart. Wheeling it down the stair, they're wheeling it down the top tier. They stop at his cell. I'm watching this cart now, right? I said, what are they going with the cart? No. They stop at this dude's cell. He backs up to the door. They open the door, they put him in handcuffs, and they load his little stuff into the cart, and they leave with him. I've lost my opportunity. He was right there. Right there. I can't kick that door down, but he was right there. And just like that, he checked in. He was gone, right? Never seen dude again after that. Didn't think about it much after that. The man I am today is dead. It's over with. It's petty. I get that now. Hard to let go of things that hurt your feelings, your emotions, your pride, things like that at times, right? But like I said, fate has a weird way of showing its face again. A few weeks back, I've got a good-sized group of friends, man. Guys that I care about that are still locked up. I'm loyal to someone I consider to be a friend. I'm not going to let you go hungry. I'm going to keep money on that phone. I'm going to make sure you're okay while you're locked up. Anybody that's ever done time with me will tell you that is 1,000,000% a fact. You are not going to go hungry as long as Jay is out here and alive. Homeboy, my Mark, gets out this coming September. Mark calls me. We're just chopping it up. Regular 1-2s like we do. What's up with you, man? How you holding your head? You all right? That's what's up, man. You about to come home, right? Damn, 25 years. You been gone a minute, man. Yeah, it's good, man. You going to love it out here. I'm just building with it. Hey, Jay, real quick. It's a dude in here, man, that says he knows you and your friends. And he wants your number, but, you know, I'm not about to give your number to nobody without you saying it's okay. I said, bet. Well, who is it? He was like, a dude named Charles. I'm not thinking, once again, that it's this dude. I'd have met a pile of Charles since this whole incident happened when I was a kid. I said, Charles who? And he tells me the last name. He said, I'm on the yard talking with Woody. Woody's an old cellmate of mine. Me and Mark was at Greensville. Woody was my cellmate at Greensville. They know each other really well. They know each other in the streets. He's like, I was talking to Woody about you, and the dude Charles was standing there with a couple of his homeboys and overheard your name and was like, yo, was you talking about Jay Williams? And he's like, yeah, that's my dude. He said, so me and Woody was talking to him about you, and he's like, man, it's my homeboy. Hey, let me get his number so I can hit him up. He said, but I ain't giving you a number. So I gave him a brief rundown on what's going on, right? This is how you can tell I've grown as a man. Here's what's going to happen, Jay. Now that we know all that, you say no more, man. Soon as we hit the yard today, I'm going to grab Woody and a couple other guys. We'll go out there and we're going to put down on dude, man. Smash him out, leave him bloody and balled up, beat up, broke up right there on the rec yard. We're going to crash him. I sit there and I ponder. I think. Why? Because I'm a thinker. I sit there as he's talking, and from there on, it's kind of like Charlie Brown, wah, wah, wah. I'm not really listening to what he's saying because I'm thinking about my options and what I can do. You ain't this without your homeboys, right? Nah, Mark. Huh? Nah. Let him live. You know what Mark said? Damn, dog, you really have changed. Yeah, man, I can't have that on my conscience, man. He did what he did. It was a long time ago. He clearly don't want to fight. I ain't no bully, man. You know, it's obvious. You know and I know dude can't beat me, so I'm not no bully. Sometimes you gotta take those skeletons out the closet, come face to face with them, and then just throw them down, man. Just get it out in the open, face it, and then let it go. And that's what I did. But it just goes to show you, man, A, the growth, and B, that people become one person when they're around all their homeboys and they got somebody to back them up. You strip that away and some dudes are the same dude. And then, well, you got some dudes that ain't without their homeboys. So back in the day, man, we lived in these apartments called Meadowdale Lakes. Meadow Run apartments out in Richmond. Places off the chain. A lot of Spanish dudes, a lot of white dudes, a lot of black dudes, a lot of everybody out there. Robberies were something that just occurred all the time out there. There was nothing to hear somebody be like, damn, I got robbed last night. He caught me slipping.
You're gonna hand over all the cash. or I'm gonna splatter your grease paint mug across the state line. One.
When you hear things like that, you think you stay better prepared, but it's one of those things where you, in the back of your mind, you're like, yeah, not me. Not me. I got robbed out there, and that's what this next story is about, and how I ultimately got my payback. How dude wasn't ish without his homeboys, right? At the time, I had a homeboy named Terry out there. Terry was much older than me, and his nickname was Flash. He was the tattoo guy. He actually did the first tattoo I ever got with a gun. It was like a street machine on me. Terry did, which was like this tribal dragon over here on my arm. I've been out there earlier that night. We're at this little park area, and I'm with this black chick named Champagne. She used to rap. We're out just smoking. She ends up having to go in. Everybody else has got to go in. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to swing over my homeboy Terry's house. I walked to this apartment complex, probably a good 10-minute hike from where I was at with her over Meadowdale. Then across the street, you got Meadow Run Apartments. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna go check out what Terry's doing. So poof, I start walking, right? I'm hoofing it. No bike, no whip, no nothing, I'm on foot. I get over to Terry's house, go in, kick it with him for a little bit, sit down, talk, shoot the bullshit, don't do much. It's getting a little late at night now, probably approaching, 10:30, 11 o'clock. I wanna say at the time I was like, man, I was young. I was probably maybe 17, maybe 18. So Terry's got to watch this kid. It's getting late. I said, all right, look, man, I'm gone, man. I ain't trying to hold you up from what you're doing. He had a girlfriend named Dizzy that was there also. Maybe they want to do their thing. I'm not trying to impose. I'm going to roll out. I get to hoofing it. Back to my apartment now. It's not far from where he lives from me. It's probably, we lived in 3180, so I would say he was maybe 15 apartments down. But it winds around in the back of the building. And then there's a playground there, right? So I'm walking down the sidewalk, and I didn't hear anything. I just felt a presence. I turn and I look to my right, and there's a car creeping up on me. Lights off. You ever just know when something's about to happen, like you feel it in the pit of your stomach, that this ain't good? I got that sickening feeling in my stomach, right? It's like in the bottom of my stomach right away that, all right, I don't know what this is, but it's bad. I go to turn around, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna double back to Terry's house. Terry had this big ass 45, this like old timber 45 at the time. I'm like, I'm gonna double back to Terry's house, knock on his door, grab his gun, and at least whatever these dudes is up to, I'll be strapped. So I backtrack. I head over to Terry's apartment, knock on the door. He's upstairs washing his son in the tub. Takes him a minute to get to the door. Meanwhile, I'm looking at this car. This car is parked, and I can see heads in it. I can't see how many people's in it, but I can tell there's a lot of different people in this car, right? At least 3 I can count standing at his doorway. Terry comes downstairs. What's up? You forget something? I look over the car. I start thinking about Terry, his son, his girl being in there. Terry's an ex-con. Hasn't been out of prison long, man. I mean, not long. Probably less than a year Terry's been out. Here I am, about to bring whatever's going on out here to his doorstep. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's somebody, if it's something coming back on me that I done did to somebody. You know what I mean? There's karma coming for me now. Is this somebody I done screwed over? Like, I have no clue who these dudes are. Terry hits me with the, what's up, man? You forget something? You coming in? I look at him. I say, nah, man, I'm good, man. Well, what's up then? Why'd you come back? Don't even worry about it, man. I'll holler at you tomorrow. He's like, you sure? I said, yeah, man, I'm sure, man. I'm gone, man. I peel off. I get to walking down the sidewalk. Now I'm walking, and this car, I have to walk right past it. So I said, oh, hell no. I cut across the street and get on the other sidewalk. When I do that, the car backs up from where it's at and backs into another parking spot. Ah, here we go. I cut towards the playground. I can actually see the front door to my mom's apartment. Like from the playground, looking straight at an angle, you could see my mom's apartment. I look over at my mom's apartment thinking, should I try to make a break for it? Should I try to run home? No. In doing that, once again, whatever I got going on, whatever this is, I can't take it to my mom's apartment. My little brothers and sisters are in there, and I can't take that risk, man. So I keep on walking. Cut over beside the playground, I hear the car door shut. I look back behind me, and I see the dudes still walking. Like now they're walking towards the direction I'm in. Dude hits me with the famous line, man. And I know this to be famous now because I've seen it done after that. I've actually done it. It's nothing to brag about, but it is what it is, man. Yo calls out to me, which gets me to pause. Hey, man, what's up with you? Hey, you gotta... I turn around, and before I can fully turn around, I feel a barrel pressed to the back of my head. You know a gun barrel when you feel it pushed to the back of your head. I freeze, like instantly dead deer status. I just freeze up. I hear click, click, and the gun goes to each side of my head. The gun that was on the back of my head is removed. The dude holding it walks around in front of me, and I'm standing there looking at this dude face to face with a gun on each side of my head. He said, you know what time it is, homeboy. Caught your ass slipping. Go ahead and run that. For everybody that's going to get in the comment section and act like you would have done something besides run that, there's something wrong with you. Let me tell you this, there ain't nothing in your pockets or on your body worth dying for. There's not. It's the part of the story where I can get on here and say, I did this and I did that. I ran it. That's what I did. You know what I said? You ain't got to shoot me, man. Because there have been several shootings out there, robbery related, and then other, you know, just related. I said, man, you ain't got to shoot me. I emptied my pockets. Where the weed at? I just smoked with champagne earlier. Smoked with Terry. He could smell it. Where the weed at? Yo, man, don't shoot me. Finds weed in my pocket, right? Had like 80-some little punk-ass dollars on. Chain with the charm. I come up out the shoes, homeboy. Stepped out the shoes and grabbed his hat. Took my hat off my head and took everything they just took out of my pockets and put it inside the hat. I'm just waiting. And those few seconds that followed that, it was like an eternity. Here I stand, middle of the night, no shoes, hat gone, pockets inside out, 3 guns pointed at me, and I'm waiting to die. Just stand there, and dude says, cut behind the buildings, man. If you turn back around, I'll shoot you in your face. I'll break out. Dude, take off. Run behind the back of the buildings and check down the back side of the building, right? Run to my homeboy Dog's crib. I talked about Dog in the past. I knock on the back door. Boom, 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 boom. I can see him sitting through the sliding glass doors. I talked about these apartment complexes before they got the sliding glass doors. I bang on the door. Boom, 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 boom. Dog comes door. Why you acting all? Why you knocking on my door like that for me? You done lost your damn mind. I said, grab the gun, grab the gun. Dudes just robbed me. Dudes just robbed me. Dog was the definition of the name Dog. He was a straight animal thug. Like, wasn't nothing scary about Dog. Where'd they go? Where'd they go? Runs in the kitchen, opens the cabinet, grabs the gun. We take off out the front door. They're gone. Long gone. Let's peeled up out of there. What happened? I tell Dog everything that happened, right? Oh, you let them catch you like that? You think shit's sweet. You must be trying to die out here, walking around at nighttime. Why you ain't got no gun on you? It's at the house, man. Cops have been, I just got arrested out there earlier that year for having weed on me. Cops were famous for just pulling up and searching you. I was just going to be in the neighborhood. I didn't think I had much to worry about, right? Worst case scenario, I can break out and run, but for some reason, I didn't run. I told him, man, it's at the house. Oh, that's a good place for it to be. Your ass could be dumb. You look dumb as a bitch right now. Dudes done got you for everything. What kind of car they look driving? Come on, get in the car. Let's go looking for him. Dog is also an ex-convict. Done a whole lot of time. Looks like he did a whole bunch of time. Looks like damn Damon from Friday. Damon?
You are not in prison anymore, Damon.
Yeah, that's who Dog looked like. I said, nah, man, they gone, bro. They not in the neighborhood no more. They long gone. Oh, man, it's so messed up. It's so messed up. Yeah, who you telling, man? Well, what you trying to do? I'm going to just go home, man. By now, my mom's locked the door. I was supposed to have been in much earlier. I knock on the door. My mom comes to the door. Why are you coming home? So she starts snapping out, right? She notices I ain't got no shoes on. I had a Cleveland Indians hat on that night, right? The hat ain't on me no more. I look shook. You can look at me and tell something just happened. What's wrong? Nothing. Where your shoes at? What happened? So I got robbed. You alright? Yeah, I'm alright, Mom. I'm gonna call the cops. Nah. No. Don't call the cops. You just got robbed. What do you mean don't call the cops? Don't call the cops. Even at that age, I understood the game, man. I knew what it was. A lot of people, I'd have called the cops. I was in the game. I wasn't no innocent dude. I was a street dude. I wasn't out there in the daytime selling suckers and ice cream. I was out there selling things that was ruining people's lives. I understood what comes with the streets, man. I can't call the cops no matter what's going on. I can't call the cops. So I'm arguing with my mom. No, you can't call the cops. Well, you got robbed. I'm calling. Mom, I'm all right. Leave it alone. We going about my business. I tell all my people the next day. Actually, I called a bunch of them that night, and they all showed up out back. Come on, let's mob up. Let's go ride around. I said, man, them dudes ain't from around here, man. I know that to be fact. Because when we jack people, we don't jack in our neighborhood. We go to other neighborhoods. Them dudes is long gone, man. We ain't gonna never see them dudes again. We're gonna waste all this time and gas and a whole bunch of rah-rah. We're gonna do this and do that. Riding around looking for some dudes we're not gonna find, man. All right, man, if you short, I'm talking about, it was like 5, 6 of my homeboys that showed up ready to go do what we had to do that night. Nah, y'all going about y'all's business. Getting Terry involved. I most likely kept Terry out of prison. Terry was OG status. Would have either gave me the gun or would have dumped on that car, and he'd have left Dizzy and his son behind. With me not going to my house, I'm pretty sure if I'd have went through that front door, they'd have probably followed me in, laid my family down. So I had to take it on the chin. Keep in mind now, I told y'all, karma doesn't come on an expiration date. Karma can be any time during the rest of your lifespan. We fast forward a year now, and I'm at the mall. And let me backtrack 1 second. The one thing that bothered me the most that night about getting robbed, aside from getting robbed and thinking I was gonna die, is that the girl I was dating at the time, she had just graduated high school. We were the same age. She gave me her high school ring. You know when you're like, you got a high school sweetheart, if one of them's got a school ring, they give it to you. So I had put that on the chain with my charm. So when they robbed me, out of everything they took from me, the ring was the one thing that meant something to me. All that other stuff, I could get back. I had on a pair of Nike Cortezes that day. No lie. I get some more Nike Cortezes. I can get another Cleveland Indians hat. I can get more weed. I can get more money. Yeah, it shook me up, but the ring was gone. So not only did they take the ring, but then I had to go to her and tell her, hey, look, I got jacked and somebody took the ring. So all around the board, it just made me feel like a punk. I'm thinking my girl's looking at me like I'm soft because I done got robbed and a ring got taken. So back to the topic at hand. We fast forward a year from that. We're in the mall, walking through the mall, shopping, getting this and that, his and hers, just doing what we do. I walk past this dude and I look at him. And the moment I look at him, I don't know where I know him from, but I know that it's bad. I got that feeling I talked about in my stomach again. I cut my eyes away from him and then cut my eyes back over at him. And I'm standing there trying to figure, where do I know this dude from, man? I know it's bad, but I can't figure out how bad or who this dude is. His face pops into my head. That gun pops into my head. That night at the playground pops into my head. I start looking around, start sweating, got a backpack on. Got the John Wayne in the backpack. Told you I wasn't leaving home without it after that. I'm looking at the different stores. There's a lot of people in the mall. I'm like, everything inside of me is saying, do it. Do it right here. Do it in the middle of the mall. Do it. That's that little devil on your shoulder. Nah. I can't do it in the mall. Now, I don't say nothing. I don't even realize that I'm having any type of reaction, but the girl I'm with snatches her hand away. She's like, what are you doing? What? She's like, why you squeeze my hand so hard? I guess in looking at dude and playing through my head the scenarios, I tightened my grip. When I did, I squeezed the hell out of her hand. She snatched her hand away like, you lost your mind? I said, my bad. She's like, what's wrong? I said, nothing. I don't want to tell her what's going on because I don't need a co-defendant. I don't believe that I should be telling a female anything about what I got going on in my head and what's about to happen. So I'm telling her, ain't nothing going on, nothing's wrong. You know what I mean? Come on, let's go. What's wrong? She can tell something's wrong. Now, dude has done past me. I'm like, hey, let's go back this way. Where are we going? Let's just go back this way. So now we're walking behind the dude, and he's headed towards the doors that go out the mall, into the parking lot. We park that way. I tell her, go to the car. Jay, what is going on? What's wrong with you? What's going on? Talk to me. I'm like, just go to the car. Why? Just go to the car, man. Stop asking so many questions. She takes off mad towards the other doors in the direction of the car. I keep behind dude. Dude leads out the doors, walks towards his car, and I'm walking behind him. Meanwhile, I'm kind of trying to stay back so dude doesn't see me if he turns around, doesn't recognize me if he turns around. But at the same time, I'm scanning the parking lot trying to see, like, potential witnesses. Who out here is going to see me? Who's going to see what's about to happen? Depending on how many people's out here and who's around, that's going to determine what I can do. Man, there's a whole ass load of people in this mall parking lot. Acting too stupid isn't an option. Pulling that thing out that backpack and doing anything with it besides going straight to the penitentiary is not an option. So I fall back and I follow him till he gets closer to his car. This bum ass dude unlocks his door. He's got his girl with him. He unlocks his door, and I'm walking right up behind the car as he unlocks his door. He leans in his door, reaches over, I guess because his automatic locks ain't work, unlocks the girl's side of the car, and then stands back up. When he does, I just hit his ass. Boom! Stomp game, full effect. Punch game, full effect. You don't pull the gun on me. There are no rules to what I should, could, and am going to do to you. Spit all over dude, kick his face all upside the tires. I'm talking about everything you could think of next to dropping that WWE elbow. I did out there. There's people running, don't know what's going on. This is what I love about society. Had that been me getting beat up, nobody would have said a word. But because I was whooping dude's ass, you got people running. Somebody get some help. He's attacking this man. Help. Get this man some help. This man's beating this man up. Hey, stop, sir. Stop, stop. Everybody's screaming at me. Meanwhile, my girl's clueless to what's going on. She's going to run out the other side of the mall and is waiting for me at the car. I finished dude's ass off. Take my time. There for good, I'd say every bit of 2 minutes. To the point that my toes are hurting from kicking this dude. I got a pair of all-star Converse on at this point. I'm kicking this dude. And if you ever kick somebody with a pair of Chuck Taylors on, it's not a good idea. They're not kicking shoes. They're thin. You're going to hurt your toes. You're going to hurt your feet. My fists are already hurting from punching him on his face. He never even seen that shit coming. The time he raised up out the door after he locked his door, I rocked his ass. The door closed. He fell. The girl reached over and locked his door and locked him out the car. I finish everything off. I take off running around the side of the mall. Down the sidewalk, cut through the bushes, through the little trees, cross the parking lot, crouch between some cars for a second. I make my way to the car and I hop in the car. The girl sees me and she freaks out. Oh my God, what did you do? Why is there blood on you? What happened? What's going on? Talk to me. What's going on? What's going on? I turned the music on and said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm shook up. I'm not going to lie. On the moment that I got behind dude and I wasn't really clear, I wasn't like clear-headed or fully, I didn't really know what I was going to do. There was an aspect of that adrenaline that comes with when you're doing something you shouldn't be doing. There's the aspect of fear, because the only time I'd ever met this dude, seen this dude in my life, he robbed me and held a gun on me. So there was a certain level of fear there. And then there was that excitement of, you ain't shit without your homeboys. Your homeboys ain't here today. The only thing I do regret from the whole ordeal is not saying something to him before I took off on him and just started hitting him. Because to this day, he probably don't know why he caught that ass whooping in that mall parking lot. To this day, he probably does not know that it was me. Well, if you're a fan of Jay Williams' Let's Live Life and that was you, well, now you know. Goes back to, man, without your homeboy. I wanted to do something a little different today, man. I wanted to get away from what we always do, which is just prison video after prison video after prison video. I want to get more into my life, more into modern day crime, huh? The stuff going on in this world. Every single week, something crazy happens in America or across the world that I would love to talk on. I'm much more than a prison YouTuber. I'm much more than an ex-convict. I'm much more than just a guy that spent a portion of his life locked up. And y'all gonna see that coming here in the future. Like I said, I want to get as far away from this genre as possible. This isn't what I want to be my legacy. I can help people without having to talk about this all day. I'm smarter than that. There's more to me than what meets the eye. There's a lot more to me than what y'all have heard. Now, I want to make something very, very clear with today's stories. Nothing about today's stories makes me a tough guy. Nothing about today's stories is me glorifying violence or acting like it's okay, because it's not. It's not cool. I led a very ignorant, self-centered, stupid life. My existence prior to coming home from prison was pointless. I had no real purpose. I was the definition of lost and ignorant. These days, I don't put myself in stupid situations. I don't do the things I once did. I will forever carry a part of who I once was with me as part of what makes me the man that I am. But never will I act like the man that I was. But anyways, as y'all know, it is Friday. That means it is payday. Gotta get the money, gotta get the guys paid. I've already done all that. I'm on the way home now. Thank God it's Friday. Yeah, I know I can't sing, but I like to. And that's my car, so that's what I do. But anyways, these jails, detention centers, these prisons, these streets, they're all just crazy world inside of an already crazy world we live in. And as always, y'all know what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep y'all entertained. Are you not entertained? And like always, this is Jay Williams, Let's Live Life. And to all my real ones, and there are some real ones watching, because y'all still watching me. Man, y'all know how we do. Salute.